That is the resistance that most new entrepreneurs forget.
The key to it is identifying which ones you're going to do, getting good at them by practicing, like anything in life.
Right.
And the number one thing is consistent.
We've watched people exit multi-million-dollar exits just because they were great at marketing.
I always compare blue collar versus white collar, but the truth is if you go into a white collar company, they're tracking everything. If you track it, you will have a big advantage on all those other blue collar companies.
America's backbone was built on blue collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business and the business starts working for you.
What's up, Blue Collar Millionaires? Back again for another podcast with Chris and I. How to avoid stalling in business. So many businesses are stalling now.
Yeah.
What's some things to do? Let's talk about number one, technician versus marketer.
Yeah. There's a lot of skilled technicians out there. I mean, that's how most people actually end up getting in the business is they know they're good at their craft. They don't like where they're working. They don't like their boss or the people that are in that business that they're working with, that company. They're like, screw it. I'm going to go and do it from my own. I'll make my own schedule. I have my freedom. I'll be able to go to my vacation when I want to go to my vacation. And they have this pipe dream of all of this freedom and bags of money because they've got a good skill set.
Yep.
But
what happens? They get a bunch of family and friends. They start doing jobs. They get some referrals. And then
they're just sitting at the red light at that point.
And they start thinking, I don't know how to get leads, and I was doing so well, but you really just used your network. So now you got to become a marketer. You got to figure out this marketing thing. You really should figure that out before.
Yeah.
Or you got to get connected with somebody who can bring you leads. And then there's so many guys who kind of prey on that, like marketers who just really can't deliver. And people get desperate.
And I think some industries are, it takes a little bit longer for you to realize you've got to become a great marketer. Some industries, like for instance, will take plumbing. It seems like plumbing and HVAC, you can be $1 million, $2 million business and not spend anything on marketing because you can just work your network and then that network can refer and you can stay within like a little referral group. But if you ever want to elevate and grow to something big, that's a sellable business, which I do believe that everybody should build their business for it to sell. Doesn't mean they have to, but it should at least be a sellable business. Then it will require for them to scale up to learn marketing. And whether they learn it or not, they at least need to have it plugged in and identify someone, do the who, not the how, identify someone that can get attention through marketing, and then they need to perfect their sales process. We've watched people exit multi-million-dollar exits just because they were great at marketing. Yeah. And they understood the skill set, but I don't even think they were amazing craftsmen. I think they just understood marketing better and had an understanding of the service that they were providing, but probably wasn't the very best, the top of the class.
I would say everybody I think of, and I can think of 6 while you were talking, that had $10 million, $10 million in exits and up were marketers. Mm-hmm. They were blue collar guys, but they knew the marketing side.
They're great.
I'm an example of it.
Yeah.
I'm a better marketer than I am of seamless gutter install.
So moving to point 2 then. All right. Outbound, inbound, reactive, proactive.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Inbound leads, we know are leads that come to you. They're ads from Google, ads that come to your website. It could be even word of mouth, stuff that comes to you. It's you set some things up and that you didn't really go out and force these sales.
Right.
Everybody likes these. They're easy.
Yeah, they're easy to close. They were searching for you. You can almost be an order taker.
Yes.
With inbound leads.
If you give them a good price and you get back to them quickly, you're going to have a very high sales thing. But even on that will dry up at some point, or you have to constantly pour more money.
We're seeing it right now.
How many people have said, I was doing 5,000, now I'm doing 10,000, getting less than from Google because they change up algorithms. Everybody's fighting for it. Right now, even with the election, all the ads, everything costs more.
Yep.
So you're not getting more money for that. I like outbound ads. I like inbound ads too for the same reasons you do, but I never have stopped outbound in any business since 1990.
Your whole business
I
model
never stop it.
is outbound
Doesn't
focused.
The economy can it change it? Sure.
Yeah.
But if you have a hybrid of both, you will never not have leads. Alex Hormozy has a great book, $1 Million Leads. Alex Hormozy's what, like 36? His
Yeah.
book's great. He's way better than me at
marketer.
pretty much anything. But everything he was doing that he writes in that book, I was doing when he was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
So it's not like some new stuff. He just wrote it really well. He executed it, and he's built $100 million off this. This stuff works. The key to it is identifying which ones you're going to do, getting good at them by practicing, like
Right.
anything in life.
Right.
And the number one thing is consistent.
Yeah.
We just talked about that on the last podcast. If you're going to do, hey, I'm going to call people, I'm going to email people, I'm going to get affiliates, I'm going to go meet people, I'm going to go to these things. Too many people, they try it 1 or 2 times. They get a couple leads, they don't stop. Why don't you keep doing it?
What's your favorite outbound marketing effort?
My number one that has made millions of dollars is email.
Email.
And email's harder now, but it still works. And the way I do it differently is if you go in your inbox right now and read 10 emails of people you don't know, I would say 10 of them are bulletin emails. It's just, they wrote that to 1 million people. Wow, they got your name in there in the beginning because you got on some list. I write mine so that if you read it, you'd be like, oh, yeah, that's to me. That's how it works. You could do way less like that. You're better off doing 100 a week like that, having, of course, their name, some valuable information, and then some specific about them. Those 100 will do better than 2,000 of just bulletin. Those days are over. It's free. Take your time. You can send all kinds of stuff and you can follow up. And what we were talking about, I'm not going to give that one away right now, what we were just talking about, that thing. But when they respond to you and they're not ready, I got an answer for that. We got that on our easy course. That thing works.
So when I discovered text message marketing, that's like my power play for home service. So I use your email marketing for my business to business. We've plugged that into my businesses. And then text message marketing for the home service residential customers. And those two, I think, when you power team those two outbound marketing programs, you are going to be doing what no other service provider in your market is doing, both of those.
I would say text would even better. The reason I don't is text for commercial
It's tough.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
But homeowners, I mean, I'm a homeowner. Somebody texts me about something, which is like never in the blue collar, but I'm going to read it.
Yeah. I've recently got to text the phone numbers of my businesses, and I'm going to plug that in and do a test sample of it for the businesses to see what that'll produce.
And then I don't want to call it cold calls, but calling out, meaning I get some type of, I'm building connections. Either I'm using social media to attract you to me. So you're like, I know this guy.
Right.
So when I get on the call with you, it's very easy, but you got to make the call.
Yeah.
You got to set those appointments or the email to the call or whatever, but you got to get in front of people.
So our next point here, making the sell easy with funnels. I think a lot of business owners screw this up. They put too much friction in it. We are in an impatient society, and we are also a very on-demand society. This is why we've got the Uber Eats, DoorDash, the Netflix, the Amazon Prime videos, the microwaves, like everything is, I want it now, get it to me the fastest. And the more resistance you put in your process, the less likely you make the funnel too tight. So if your customer has to fill out a form online to be able to get an appointment with you, then you're losing customers because most people don't want that lag time of your response. Same thing as if they call you on the phone and they have to leave you a voicemail because you're out in the field and you haven't decided to hire a virtual assistant or stick somebody in your office to pick the phones up when you're getting calls, then you're losing sales because as soon as it goes to voicemail, if they leave you a voicemail, they're picking the phone up and calling the next person that was on the list that provides the same service you do. So that is the resistance that most new entrepreneurs, and I would say probably $1 million revenue, $1.5 million revenue and below, forget that you're losing opportunity, you're losing closed sales because you've allowed too much resistance. So how do you reduce the resistance? you pick the phone up and you answer it as soon as they've called. If they send you a text message, then you respond back because that's their preferred way. Like my local service ads on Google, I have the messaging app opened and turned on so that they can send me a message and I can respond back. Because they might be sitting in their office place where they can't have their phone to their ear because they're on the clock, but they can send me a text message that says, I would like to have 3 rooms of carpet clean, or I would like to have my home air ducts clean. Well, now I can sit there and respond back and forth on text message. But if I say, what's your number so I can call you, I'm trying to move them to a platform that they didn't prefer in that moment, and I'm probably not going to get a response back.
Well, the truth of it is every customer you want is busy. They're making a lot of money, living in $1 million house, right? We're not going after people working at McDonald's and waiting on their break.
That's right.
So I want to make it super easy for them. I know as a homeowner, when I want something done, I'm trying to wrap that up in 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows this. You see a video, if you don't have the YouTube that you pay for the commercial, I won't even watch. Mm-hmm. I just got to get something else. I can't even watch 10 seconds of a commercial at this point. So we've changed our model. We used to do pricing in 2 or 3 days for complexes. Now we say our answer is they ask for it, and we say, hey, we've seen that complex. We do many in that area. Give me 25 minutes. I just want to measure some stuff with our software, and I'll send it. I just ended everything about them looking to talk to someone else.
That's such a valid point, and I've heard other people talk about that, how quick you get your estimates.
We send to them, it's like 7 minutes later.
Yeah.
Now, what do they think about? They're like, geez.
People will go out and quote jobs and not even deliver the estimate to them. The customer has to follow back up for the estimate. I've had it happen in my business.
I think that we call it clear out. We have all our emails cleared out at 11 a.m. and 4. Cannot have any sitting.
I love that.
People are like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But if you're a guy and you're a tech in the field and you're doing that, you think I'm crazy. You got to have some help. Mm-hmm. Hire a VA. I talk about it. Chris and I sell a course, $99.
Yeah.
It'll change your life.
Virtual assistants.
Clear it out 11 thing, and all estimates are always out by the end of the day. If they ask for it before 12, they got it. If not, it's hitting in their boomerang at 8:03 the next morning. You can't do that. This is a big thing I saw when I first started. Of course, there was no internet. You used to do handwritten estimates. I would go to talk to somebody about their landscaping. I would do the estimate right there and sell it, right? It wasn't like, what was I going to go home and mail it to them?
Yeah.
But now, I don't know if people don't. They're there, and then like, I'll send it to you. If you send it to me tonight, fine. But they send it to you 4 days later. What happened in that 4 days? Why not just do it right there?
You know, I think about how when I first started, I would walk in, I was pitching my carpet and tile cleaning, and I'd walk in the restaurants to build up my recurring revenue model as a startup company. And I would physically write it out in a carbon copy statement book after I got the permission to quote and got my measurements up. And then I would hand it to them with a very brief description of what that looks like and the parameters, when we could do it, all that kind of stuff. And then I would give them about 60 seconds as they're looking it over. And then I would say, what do you think? You don't get that opportunity when you're mailing or emailing your proposal in after you've already left. You're standing there, you get to see their facial expressions, you get to feel the energy come off of them when they answer, and you can immediately respond if they say, well, I'm a little concerned because, and then they're going to tell you.
If I was doing back then, I didn't even know the term assume the sale. I was so young, I was doing it though.
Yeah.
I was just telling them, hey, I could do it on Monday for you. Can't do it on Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, I can't even do it the rest of the week, but I could do it Monday. They're like, yeah, Monday sounds good.
Yeah.
I didn't ask them, hey, do you want to get on? And say, yeah, I could do it Monday, but it'd have to be after lunchtime because I'm already booked. I was always doing that. You should do that on the phone. But we were talking, people calling in, if you can figure out a way to price that on the phone in 60 seconds, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, a million Christmas lights, even if you gave them a ballpark figure, and you said, yeah, houses like that, that's going to be around $480. And then I'm just going to basically make it happen. And then I'm going to just get into scheduling right there. You'll sell so many more than letting it go to voicemail, or I'll send you a price later. If you send that price, you need to have that price quick. And this is the big advantage of the guys who get systems and get back-end office. They'll kill you. Because you're going home at 8 o'clock, your kids are climbing all over, you want to spend time with them, your wife's talking to you about something, and then it's next thing you know, you fall asleep on the couch. You didn't get any of those estimates out. Next morning, fires to put out.
Yep.
Well, the other guy, your competition,
God, so true.
they answered the phone.
Yeah.
They did the estimate. They scheduled it. While you're putting fires out the morning, they're doing your jobs.
Yeah.
Make no mistake of it. They are doing their
I think
jobs.
it's very important that you sit there and you have your pricing models down, your price book, and then it's go in and it's a click and paste, click and paste, click and paste. There's too many CRM systems that allow you to do this at this point. You need to know, I charge this per linear foot, per square foot, per cubic foot, whatever it is. And then you just drop it in there while you're still on the property. Give me 5 minutes. Let me put this together real quick. I just need to grab some measurements for about 10 minutes. Then give me 5 minutes to put it together. You got 15 more minutes for me to hang out and give you a number right now? Most of the time they're going to say, yeah. Now you're still engaged in that conversation, because every time you approach a conversation with someone fresh and new on a different day, there's that warm up period. You've already been talking to them. They've been expressing to you what their problems were, why they wanted this done, what they want done. Like the warm up period's over with. The perfect time to quote is like right now. Matter of fact, you're even making me think about how I need to go back and tweak a couple of things in our process, because we're not always doing that. We've overcomplicated some of our services. And I remember what it felt like to close with just a simple carpet cleaning, square footage, here's the price, available for night cleaning, moving tables and chairs included. Here's your price. We'll take care of tables and chairs. You let me know which night is going to be best for you. We'll accommodate whatever you need to be done. This is your monthly rate. If you don't do monthly rate, then there will be a higher adjustment, because we know we can maintain based off of a monthly maintenance rate. What do you think?
Yeah.
And then you just close right now. And then now I pull my calendar up and I put it on the schedule. It's not, I'll call you when I get back to the office and I'll tell you what's available. Like schedule it right then, close. Here's the last point, activities to track that produce results. So I know you have amazing spreadsheets and reports because you have a large virtual assistant team. You don't even see these people physically because they're in a whole nother country. Tell me some of the why we should be tracking our metrics.
You got to know that, because I want to know how many calls were made, how many calls were answered. This is a little sheet. Mm-hmm. It's like a EOD report, but I really look at the weekly one. I like them to come in on Friday. I want to look at them Friday night when I have time, or Saturday morning, little thing, and I look at it. So for calls, I want to know how many calls went out for each person. Voicemails, did they get how many live people? The percentage is almost always the same because we do so many.
Right.
I want to know how many people wanted our service, how many we priced, how many did we close. Mm-hmm. That's just for calls. So I do that with emails, and I do it for a couple other things. But I need to look at those reports, because I need to say, all right, we're getting this return of the proposals. We're closing on 37%. And then I just, in my head, I say, how would I get that to 42%? It's only 5%. How do I do that? And can we do it faster? Is it the pricing? Do we need to add more perceived value to that? Do I need to listen to calls and everything? I'm always trying to make it better, better, and better. And if you don't know what that is, and you have no idea, like, I don't know how many calls I get, I don't know how many people I talk to, I don't know what my risk, how can you fix it? How can you fix it? You can't, and your team will know you don't know it. Yeah. So what are they going to do? They're going to do less. But a lot of times those things, when you have a sample, you need at least 100 for a sample, and I'd much rather 1,000. Yeah. When you get up to 1,000, you pretty much know, I'm only getting 0.5%, but this one I'm getting 3%. It doesn't mean you stop the 0.5% if it's cheap and you're still making money, but you got to put Miller energy on that 3% return.
Right.
And when you don't know that and you're not tracking these activities, what can you expect? You're just guessing. I mean, I hate to say it's probably 85% of people.
I think so.
They're guessing.
Maybe even more than that.
And I always compare blue collar versus white collar, but the truth is, if you go into a white collar company, they're tracking everything. They have this. Blue collar collars don't. If you track it, you will have a big, big advantage on all those other blue collar companies. It's just as simple as that. Don't want to do it? Hire a VA. We just talked about that.
You got to manage your numbers. You got to track the data. It's the only way that you can lead something. How else are you going to know what questions to ask? Just like you just said, you think, how do I get this 5% more? Can we respond quicker? Can we add more perceived value? What do we tweak? Like, you don't even know if you don't know.
Yeah.
So guys, gals, I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. Y'all tune in next week. We're going to keep talking about how to build your business so that you can build your bank account through blue collar business.